what we know about the furry fandom. Well, so let's start by the basics. What is a furry? A furry is a person who is interested in anthropomorphic animals in a mostly sexual way. They can also be pedophiles and zoophiles, often due to the fact that they consume pornographic material that might rewire their brain into being that, pedophiles or zoophiles. We have actually figured out that most furries that are femboys do usually masturbate to gay porn and furry porn, leading them to be, you guessed it, furry femboys. Now, what happens is that, speaking of pornography, we also know that aside from the furry fandom being inherently sexual and being a fetish on its own, since it is a tag in many websites, you can find the tag furry in websites such as Pornhub, Xvideos, Xanimals, and many other websites with the tag furry that are about porn, websites about porn with the tag furry. We also know that YIF or furry pornography is highly contagious. Many anti-furries have turned into furries due to furry pornography. Followed by this, we also noticed that even minor furries who are below the age of 18, would proceed to do the following. When furries are harassed, they usually don't go back and roast, since their roast capabilities are below the ground. They go on and spam suggestive material. When the harassment increase, their sending of suggestive material just increase. You can see this a lot. It even happened to me in YouTube once, when a furry that watched my video and didn't like it told me, quote, "I bet you let furry sluts to touch you while they're wearing up their fursuits." They said that to a minor, me basically. Followed by this, the furry fandom is known to own a company that owns a website. The company is mainly known as Bad Dragon, a company that creates zoophilic themed adult toys, basically animal shaped dildos, animal dick shaped dildos. You're basically buying a horse dick made out of fucking silicone. And their main customer is usually the furry fandom, which is no surprise considering that most of them are just closeted zoophiles if we go by the factual stuff. Usually, right, the furry fandom does not like to admit to this, but this company that creates zoophilic themed dildos goes on and has a website known as E621, which is a very known website for both furries and anti-furries. E621 is a furry porn website, and this website usually is all about furry pornography. If you go to E621, most of what you're gonna find is unrestricted furry porn. Followed by this, we also noticed that furries usually respond to criticism with, for example, suggestive material. Not only harassment, but also suggestive material uses to counter criticism, as I already said, because of the previous comment I mentioned that said that I allow certain disgusting individuals to do disgusting stuff to me, which is literally not fucking true, because the individuals just said it to upset me. Furries seem to know that said material upsets us anti-furries and decide to spam it or send it in a counter to harassment. However, here is the twist. It seems like, not only this, but it seems like commentary furries usually have to vent their anger through true anger, and cannot do this through suggestive material to make it too obvious. However, animation furries don't seem to vent their anger or the harassment that they get from anti-furries in any shape, way or form, because they already do it through doing regular animation or furry animation videos, which they are very suggestive on their own. Another point I would like to drag here, due to furry being attacked in many pornographic websites such as Pornhub, for example, both real-life porn websites and animated porn websites, both of them have the tag furry. But not only that, that's enough to prove that the furry fandom is a fetish on its own, yeah. But that's not the point. The point is that kids go on to school with butt plug tails and cat ears, something that could turn on a pedophile, a furry pedophile, if he were to walk by a school and see a child with a butt plug tail, which is basically a fucking piece of metal that goes inside of your fucking ass and then it just goes out of your pants. If it sounds bad and disgusting, it's because it is, and fucking animal ears. The thing is that these things are normalized and promoted by pedophiles to parents. They are assuring the parents that there is nothing to worry about, it is just a phase that we will grow out of. Now the thing is that they don't grow out of this phase because there is no judgment to force them to grow out of it. So basically they will not grow out of it. And not only that, but the amount of groomers that there are in the fandom is genuinely alarming. A lot of individuals also in the furry fandom like to have their profile pictures as corped furry porn, that if you do a research image search out of curiosity could lead you to the darkest pits of the furry fandom with fetishes and kinks you haven't even imagined of in your wildest dreams or your most autistic moments. Your most tomfoolery moments could not even summon that stuff up. Forward by this, the furry fandom also promotes itself to young children, while its comedy and humor it's way too mature in adults. Most of the furry fandom jokes are usually about sex, gays, femboys, and amongst others. It promotes itself to children, however, the humor that's being fed here is not suitable for kids. Not only that, but we do know that the furries usually like to play dumb. For example, they go on with the meme, I don't like you, so I'm gonna start barking at you, to lower their high alert profile, the high alert profile of their surroundings, to make themselves look dumb and stupid and incapable of doing smart moves. But that's the point. The smart move is playing it dumb. We all know that groomers usually like to act like they're good people, like they're good souls, like they're people you can trust. But when you least expect it, they turn out to be the worst garbage you could have ever encountered in your life. And forward by this, not only that, but the concept of anthropomorphic animals, not only that it's a concept that is associated with children most of the time, it is also a concept that was pushed by Disney to, educational cartoons. Just an adult being attracted to, for example, children's cartoons should be a huge red flag, because as an adult you should not be into that stuff. I'm not trying to dictate anybody's freedom here or anything, but think about it like this. If an adult is interested in kid material and he is surrounded by children, that was always a red flag. It always ends up bad. That's why maybe pedophiles love the furry fandom so much. The concept is so childish, it's so kid friendly, to the point that they don't have to do much. They just need to wait the fish to come and they pull the string of the fishing rod. And there are many grooming and many incidents that happened in the furry fandom, from Kero to the red panda situation, one who raped an 11-year-old boy, Zaffa, who was a self-proclaimed and proud zoophile. No wait, Kero actually was a zoophile as well. And not only that, but also you have more recent events such as Dragoneer. He was not a zoophile himself. No, he was even worse than that. How? Well, when zoophiles will get exposed and banned out of a very famous furry website called Fur Affinity, he would actually help them to get back into moderation team by giving them new accounts. So the owner of a website would allow pedophiles and zoophiles to moderate his website, and message minors have full control and dictate literal fucking lives. Like, if you're the owner of a website or you have full admin control and somebody throws raping allegations at you or being a pedophile allegations at you justifiably, you can just silence them or ban them out of the domain. Dragoneer was giving a hell ton of power to pedophiles and zoophiles in Fur Affinity, putting a lot of minors in potential danger. Not only that, but Fur Affinity is infested with porn. You can even find porn flash games in there, which is fucking mind-boggling, if you ask me. But not only that, note the following. The furry fandom has a lot of economical ground. A lot of people buy and sell stuff through the furry fandom. A lot of fursuits, mersuits, and amongst others. Now, what is a fursuit? A fursuit is just a full body costume of your persona. A character that furries develop with their preferred features. And they go on and represent themselves as said persona. Persona is literally the word persona. So you create a furry persona. I love Mayo. So basically, you make a fursuit of said persona, but then you have mersuits. One starts with the M, the other one starts with the F. That's the whole difference on the word, but the thing itself is kind of more different. Fursuits have different flaps to have easy access to certain places, such as the groin, for example, just to give you ideas what they were talking about here. Sexualized themed fursuits, and that fandom is being promoted to children. There was an incident where furries ordered a pizza just to jack off to it, and how do I say this? Eject their white bodily fluids onto the pizza and then throw it in the middle of the hallway of the hotel in the middle of the convention. My brain is struggling to find words because just trying to process what I've said and what I've seen in that video and the information that I've gotten is just an abomination of its own. Just think that you are in a hotel and you see a pizza in the hallway and it's all covered in literal cum. We know that the furry fandom is inherently sexual, but it closes itself just to be presentable in an appealing way to parents. It's literally all the signs point to one place. We also know that furries dislike Skibidi Toilet a lot, and specifically Skibidi Toilet. When used Skibidi Toilet against furries, they would go on and spam a lot of suggestive stuff, or sometimes, rarely, just cutting up and going and setting shut when I was like, hey, why you stop talking to me, right? Because I spammed Skibidi Toilet, they wouldn't answer, they would just go, be like, nah, this nigga be fucking brain rotted as fuck. But it was not the same reaction with the Gen Alpha slangs being used offensively. Instead of calling me a Gen Alpha idiot, they would go on and once more, as previously mentioned, spam suggestive material. We do not know why there's such fucking snowflakes yet, but maybe it is because they are they get used. You see, other furries, influencers such as, for example, beta or left-wing leaning left parasites, right, like to be in a comfortable, quote-unquote, friendly, non-toxic habitat. By normalizing people to be in this type of place, and when you give them criticize, then the shit explodes. And that is pretty much most of what we know currently about the furry fandom, which is a lot of information when you start thinking about it. There is way more, but it is still as yet classified, or it's just flying in the air and my mind could not caught it.